back to Serene Madness. In today's video, we're going to do a open thread tag video. And I thought of this the other day. I was watching a Fat Man video, link in the description box below. He's an awesome guy. And for some strange reason, I asked him, he was showing some knives, and I asked him, I go, I don't know what made me think of it, but I go, what is your most expensive knife and your least expensive knife? And he did a video last night, and I will have that link in this description box below as well. So, on with the show. Let's just get to it. I'll first show you my least expensive knife. I have a lot of knives, and sometime in the future I'm going to start inventorying and counting all of my knives, because I'm curious to know how many I have and that kind of thing, and that will come in a future video. So I was mulling it over. I didn't know which knives to pick, but then I had an epiphany and it came to me. So here we go. Least most expensive knife in my collection. I'm guesstimating it's probably this. This is a basic knife. It's even got a bottle opener on the end of it. This knife I picked up at a Chinese dollar store for $1. So basically the reason why I got it, because I'm kind of a knife whore, knife slut. So whenever I see something unique, I thought this was kind of unique. Plus I had an idea that I was going to buy a bunch of these and put a lanyard on it and try to sell these for like $5 or $10. But that didn't really pan out. I might try it again in the future. But cheap Chinese folding knife for $1. So there you go. That's it. That's my least expensive knife. On to the most expensive knife in my collection. I gave it some thought. Didn't really know. I don't actually have a lot of expensive knives. Most of my knives are under $50. I would say most of my knives are $60 and below, because I can't really afford knives. So the most expensive knives are old school knives that I bought years ago. Now they've gone way up in value, so that's why this knife is on the top of the list. I looked at all my knives. This one came out on top. Here it is. What you're looking at is, let's get it in there, a Benchmade, an original Benchmade. It's the other logo. This is an original Benchmade Delta Raider Model 120. This was in the very first line of knives that Benchmade ever produced. I'll give you a little history on Benchmade. Be quick. Benchmade, if anybody is in the know about knives, used to be called Pacific Cutlery, and they made some badass knives. They primarily made bali songs, but what happened was in the late 80s, roughly around 85, between 85 and 86, the US decided to throw the butterfly knife on the banned list of knives in the United States. So you couldn't buy them, legally have them, or legally buy them. You can own them, but you can't carry them or kind of buy them. So it's kind of weird in the United States. So around 1985, 1986, that law was passed, and it really messed up Pacific Cutlery. because what they were doing is they were manufacturing the parts in Japan, and then the Japanese manufacturer was sending the parts to the US, to the Benchmade, to Pacific Cutlery, and Pacific Cutlery was assembling them and making them in their American plant. So as a result of that ruling, they stopped primarily making butterfly knives. They changed the company name a couple years later, and in roughly around 1989, Benchmade came out. They came out onto the market as Benchmade, no longer Pacific Cutlery, and they put out their first line of knives. One of them was this. So this was brand new. First production I bought this knife in 1990, so their first official line came out in like early 90s, because that's when I bought this. And trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Pacific Cutlery was my favorite company ever, and I did a lot of research on this. So I picked this knife up. I got it from the Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and I paid roughly $127 for this knife. It does come with a leather sheath, and this was the very first knife that I ever really witnessed or saw that had this style of recurve on it. This recurve style, almost like a Gurkha style knife, and love it. So yeah, it's got a Creighton handle. They were also starting to use this Creighton handle material around then. This was a rubberized knife handle material called Creighton. It was basically meant for comfort and contour, and just they were trying to do more of a tactical thing with it. I'm not exactly sure how long the blade is. I haven't looked at the specs on this, but I think it's I'm not even going to estimate how big this is, but it's good size. And it got used. I used to go. I actually went camping with it back in the day, so it's kind of scratched up. I do use my knives. So I got this knife in 1990, and I paid a $127 for it at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I did some checking around in all my sources, and this knife is extremely rare. It's discontinued. They don't make it anymore. If you can find one for a decent price, I would highly recommend you pick one up just to have it in your collection, because they're very, very rare. They don't come up too often. Current street value on this knife is between $275 to $300. That's what I've found on the internet. So roughly that. So I would probably never part with this knife, because it is what it is. It's just awesome and rare. So that's it. Most expensive, least expensive. Open tag. Anybody can do it. I want to see people do it. I've missed so many people on YouTube have just kind of not been doing videos. Do videos. Come back. It's been kind of lonely out here in the tubes. You know, you got some guys that are still doing videos, but there's a lot of guys out there now that aren't doing videos anymore, that have pretty big channels, and they just haven't done any videos. So come back to us, do some videos, show me at least not expensive knife, show me a most expensive knife. Jim from the Nicest Knife Channels, you got to do that. This tag goes out to you. Dino, I'm throwing this tag at you. I'd like to see you do it. Tim Blank J, if you're watching, do a video on this. I'd like to see you do it. And just anybody do a video on this that does knives. I have knives. I'll tend to do a video on this. Show me at least the most expensive knife. Do it. Show them. Enjoy. Have an awesome day. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, please. I need to break that elusive 1,000 subscriber mark. Hopefully by the end of the year. Find your serene and mad world. I'm out.
Don't let me raise up and come over there and put my hands on you.